Welcome to the Fire Away Podcast. The podcast that is the Fire Away Podcast. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
All right, welcome back to the Fire Away Podcast, where we're always ready to fire away with anything and everything.
Well, hello, Matt.
How you doing, Fred?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy. How about yourself?
Not too bad. This is episode 3, Philadelphia Love.
Philadelphia Love.
This week's episode is sponsored to us by the System Service Department.
That's a big department.
That is a big department. So how you doing, Fred?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy. How about yourself?
Living the dream. It's
Good,
a
good.
nice hot one out there, bud.
It is hot. It's hot, been hot, going to stay hot, super humid. Yeah.
Very humid.
Shout out to all the fellas and ladies out there working in this heat.
Yes, thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate all what you do. And just a reminder, when you guys are in the Baltimore office, you can stop up in the warehouse, get ice cream out of the deep freezer. And Leesburg, Texas, there is ice cream up in the freezer on the second floor.
Oh, yeah. Klondike bars in Leesburg, buddy.
Fred found the Klondike bars.
Hey,
Better get them quick.
Just a quick note here. To all you guys out there working in the heat, Mark and Matt both came in the integrity room and said it was hot. And just so you guys know, I told them to shut their mouth. They're inside.
It is warm, but nothing compared what they're going through.
No. So, today's guest, we have another special guest here, right? We started off our first two. Interview one was Anna. Interview two was Mr. Matt Williams right here.
Yep.
Both of them went fantastic. Really enjoyed them. Enjoyed the guest. Enjoyed the conversation. Shout out to Mark, who interviewed Anna on that first one. I tell you what, buddy, he did a fantastic job, right? That was an awesome interview. Heard a lot about Old Frosty.
Old Frosty.
Yeah, that's right. But today's guest is
The one and only.
yeah. I mean,
Mighty and feisty.
Mighty and feisty. Yeah, you've known him for quite a while, right? I mean, you've known this guy years now, right?
Sure. It's got to be at least 15 years,
All right.
if not longer.
What's your favorite story about him?
Oh, man. There's so many, I don't even know where to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. With this guy around, you will never have a bad day.
No, he's always up for entertainment. I do tell you what, though, he loves that phone.
Oh, yes. Always on that
Loves
phone.
it. What's he doing? On the phone.
If you can't get a hold of him, it's probably because he's already on it.
He's on the phone.
He is,
Correct.
for sure.
Right. So I try to tell him all the time, right? You get on the phone, you get on, you get off. Like I just get on, I get the information I need, and I get off. But because he's such a nice guy, the reason why people love him is because he likes to ask about their day, what's happening, how's the kitty cat doing, did you clean the litter box today, all that other good stuff, right? He wants the details of the day.
You will definitely have a good conversation with him.
For sure. So, hey, without further ado, who is this guest coming on here, Matt?
The one and only Matt Benfield.
Oh, Beandog in the house. Hey, here he is.
All right. Welcome, Matt Benfield. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard during this podcast to refer to you as Matt Benfield and not Beanie or Beandog. So if you hear me say Beanie or Beandog, everybody out there that doesn't know Matt yet, that you will know that by the end of this for sure. I still remember when you came to work here, and the department manager at the time said, "Well, what's his name?" I said, "It's Beanie," and she said, "I can't call him Beanie." I said, "Well, his name's Matt, but I'm pretty sure you'll be calling Beanie by the second day." And the first day you walked in the office, she started saying Beanie right away. I'll never forget that.
Well, it's a little confusing. You know, we were working together, so two Matts made it a little difficult.
Oh, for sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your Fireline self right now, what you do at Fireline, how long you've been here, and all that fun stuff.
All right. I started at Fireline October 31st, 2011, so coming up on almost 12 years. I started off as your helper, Matt Williams' helper. Yeah, we rode together for quite some time. I would say probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. I say we worked together.
At least.
And then after that, we kind of split up. We each got helpers, went still taking care of similar customers, and then supervisor position opened up. applied for it and figured there's something I wanted to grow my career. And actually, Matt and I both got hired. They were only
Right into the supervisor position.
Yeah, they were interviewing for one, and they hired both of us. So, and then from that, there were some changes. I would say within the last year, I guess. And now I am technically the assistant manager of the system service department.
Look at you. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
How's it going so far? You enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. It's just it's a little different than before. The supervisor role took a little, takes a little while to get used to coming out of the field and working in the office. But this is just a different level of that. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like anything else. There's challenges, but yeah, I like it.
So how many years total now do you have at Fireline?
Almost 12.
12 years. Look at that.
I don't know. Time goes by fast, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, like myself, you live nowhere close to the Baltimore office.
That is correct. Yes. I actually live right out. People know where King of Prussia, Pennsylvania is. There's a big mall there. But it's actually, I live 18 miles west of the center city, Philadelphia. So, yeah, it takes, it's about, I don't know, maybe like 95 miles from here, I would say.
And it's crazy because it takes us about the same amount of time to get to work, but or to the office anyway. But we're still at least 40 minutes to an hour apart.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because, I mean, when I was your helper, I used to have to drive to your house, and it took me about 45 minutes to, to meet up, for sure.
So, obviously, I'm the one that got you in here to Fireline, and I know how you got in and what transpired from that. But let's tell everybody else how you got into Fireline.
Well, I was living in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, which is basically right outside of Lancaster, and Matt was my next door neighbor. So I kept seeing his Fireline van. At the time, I absolutely hated my other job. And
what was your job at that time?
I worked for a commercial landscaper. Basically, just did kind of like a little bit of project managing and then some estimating.
So no fire protection whatsoever?
No, zero. I was completely green when I started here, but I knew I hated that, and that was going nowhere fast. And yeah, so I saw Matt, and we had become friends. We literally lived right next door to each other, and just kept asking about it. And it took me, I don't know, it took a long time for me to get in here.
It did take a long time.
I feel like now, like I know in our department, we're hiring guys. We got three. We got 3 starting today. We got 3 starting next week. But at that time, I think it took over a year for me to get hired. But yeah, I got. I think Frank actually hired me.
That would have been Frank.
Yeah,
yep.
Frank interviewed me, and yeah, I didn't know anything about fire protection. I just remember him saying, "Well, you don't know anything, so I guess the only thing we can talk about is money." So that was it. So we settled on that, and yeah, I started. Like probably like 2 weeks later.
That's awesome. And you haven't looked back since?
No, and I'm very happy with the decision, obviously. A lot of people ask me about, because of where I live and the commute and things like that. And I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I like it here a lot. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. So.
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time, especially these new technicians and employees coming in. How well do you like Fireline? How long have you been here? It's like, listen, I've been driving 2 hours to work every day because I hate my job, So.
Yeah, when we're out in the field, it's a little different too because we're going right to job sites. We used to be scheduled north of the Beltway and just work up that way, but now having come into the office a lot, it's a little bit different. So,
100%. So now that we got to know you through your Fireline side, let's get to know you a little bit outside of Fireline. I understand you got a wife and a daughter.
That is correct. I have a wife, Kim, who I started dating her probably 2000.
She's not listening to this, is she?
No, I don't want. I mean, she will, yeah. Actually, I was dating her for probably about a year before I got the job here. So, yeah, probably since like 2010, I guess. And I've known her. And then we got married in 2016.
There you go.
I believe, yeah. October 7th, 2016. Yeah, so, and then she's a dental hygienist. That's actually how I met her. I went to get my teeth cleaned, and there she was. She came at me. It wasn't me going the other way. So, but and then yeah, we have a little girl together. Her name's Cecilia. We call her Cece. she's
Little bundle of joy.
Yeah, she's something. She will be 4 on August 7th. So
They grow up way too fast.
yeah, it's crazy. It's wild.
Now, I know when people walk around and come up to your desk, they're going to see a couple things. Your wife and kid are up there. You also like to hunt. But the other big thing is the Philadelphia sports.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's my thing, man. I'm a big sport fan, and 4 for 4 we say up in Philly because we got 4 teams, not like down here. I don't know, you guys have like 2, and then you pull in the Capitals and you pull in the whatever else you do. But yeah,
4 for 4, that doesn't mean 4 championships, all right?
No. There's 4 teams. No, and it just means you root for all 4 teams. That's all that means. Yeah.
And even your favorite college teams too. They come out of Philadelphia.
No, I'm more of a pro sports guy. I mean, growing up, my dad was always a big fan of Penn State football because that's like basically the closest, I guess, big program. Temple's not far away. Villanova, actually, yeah. Now that you say that, Villanova is only probably about 10 miles from my house. They had a good basketball program, so yeah. I mean, I guess you could say yeah.
And then do you attend a lot of sporting events in Philly?
Yeah, so Phillies games especially. Baseball is my favorite sport. I have like a 17 game plan for the Phillies, and then obviously we like that because then it gives us access to playoff games. So this past year they made it to the World Series, which was awesome. So I was part of I got to go to a bunch of games for that. So this year I haven't been to as many games, unfortunately. I still pay for the tickets, but went to like 2 NLDS games, an NLCS game, and I was at 2 World Series games. And unfortunately, I saw one where they hit like 5 home runs and won like 7-0. And then I actually saw them get no hit, which was, I think, the second time in World Series history that there was a no hitter. And I saw it against my team. So that was not it wasn't great.
So you got to attend some of the World Series games.
Yeah, I was at the games, but yeah, and that one, of course, I paid extra money for and took the wife, and it wasn't very fun. But whatever.
That was one of her first games, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, she likes playoff games, but I guess who wouldn't? I mean, that's ridiculous.
But being a Phillies fan, they don't go much more than the playoffs usually.
I usually don't make it. No, I don't make it to the playoffs very often. No, that was the first time they were in the playoffs since I think like 2012 or something like that. So for the Phillies anyway. So yeah.
Was that the last time they won the World Series?
In 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Did you celebrate?
Huh. Yeah. I mean, I was part of the team. I mean, I put in my, anybody who's a baseball fan, they put in, there's 162 games a year, and I probably listen or watch the majority of them. Not the whole thing. That'd be pretty much impossible. But yeah, I mean, you feel like I live and breathe the Phillies. That's my thing.
So, like you said, and obviously, baseball is a huge part of your life, and you love baseball. You also coach baseball, right?
That is correct. Yes. I don't obviously I have a son, but a friend of mine who I grew up with, I've known him since I was like 6 years old. We're still friends to this day, but he has a 10-year-old son now. But he had always asked me to help coach, and it was always something I thought about doing, but I don't know. I just didn't know if I could make it work. I made the commitment about 2 or 3 years ago to do it, and it's incredible. I love every second of it. We started out when they were like 7 and 8. It's a little struggle at that age. There's not it's not much baseball, I would say. It's more or less just kind of trying to get them all together and focus on one thing. But this year, I was asked to help out with the 10U travel team, which was awesome. I mean, it was a huge commitment. It's a lot of time. But I love every second of it. And I just enjoy seeing the kids succeed, and it's great. I love it.
Now, you grew up in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, correct?
Yeah.
And played baseball growing up?
Yeah. Boyertown is a very small town. I would say like, I don't know, maybe like an hour west of Philadelphia. But we've always
say that's pretty close. People might know Reading, Pennsylvania.
Close to Reading. It's kind of between Reading and Philly, I guess is what I would say, yeah.
And then growing up, you said you played ball. And your dad coached you, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
And travel ball's big in Boyertown.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is like, that's live, breathe baseball. It's, I know like some towns, like in I always think like, Friday Night Lights, you see those movies and stuff. I feel like that's how baseball was. Where I grew up, like everybody went to the games. We had a stadium there for the high school team and for the local Legion team. Legion baseball really is dying breed now, but yeah, no, I grew up playing baseball. My dad was always there. He always coached me, and then I was not the best, but I know a lot, so I feel like it's something I can pass on to some kids.
So then, when you got into high school and stuff, you didn't play ball for the school, but you did play other sports, correct?
Yeah, when I went, I think in junior high, I was on the baseball team, but I didn't. I didn't play. Let's say I was. I think I had 4 at bats my 9th grade year. So when I got to high school, my other buddy started playing tennis, so I was like, I'll give that a shot. Why not? So went out and played tennis. That's a little, I know people look at that a little differently than other sports, but I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love everything about it. It's great. Yeah, like I know Wimbledon just happened this past weekend, or yesterday, new champion. So, but yeah, big fan of tennis as well.
That's awesome. And I know just for being friends for quite a long time now, any sport you love, you can get into any sport, watching on TV. Anybody needs to know stats or anything, they can come to you. You can probably give it to them.
Yeah, I'm a sports junkie. Like literally I don't care what's on TV. Like if it's I'm not, even if it's like the NBA finals and maybe I'm not a fan of either team, I'll still watch it. I have to watch it. I feel like if I don't watch it, I'll miss something. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing. I never had interest in the World Cup until I met you, and I remember we were at a job site, Washington College, and one of the TVs was on in one of the dorm room common areas, and you said, we got to watch this for a little bit. And I said, it's soccer. Like, I don't want to watch this. And you said, it's the World Cup. It's not just soccer. I'll tell you what, you were right. Now every time that's on, I have to sit there and watch it because it's very interesting and exciting. So,
yeah, I mean, it'd be better if the U.S. was better, but they're not. So, but yeah, you catch the cup fever, man. I don't know.
For sure.
I love it.
For sure. So the Women's World Cup actually starts this week.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, I would like, I mean, they are actually competitive.
Very competitive.
Yeah, I think they've. I don't know. I think they won last year.
Yes.
Or not last
the
year.
Last time they had the World Cup.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. But yeah, no. Yeah, they're actually. They can win.
So I'm sure you'll be watching that.
Oh yeah, sure.
At least watching the highlights on ESPN. So obviously, sports big thing in your life, along with the baseball, which is your biggest love. Or your favorite sport, but what else do you like to do? I know you have Deer Slayer up in your at your desk. Can you give us a little story on that?
Yeah. So I don't know. A couple of my buddies, they bought in on a cabin up in Sullivan County, Pennsylvania, which is pretty far north. It's not too far from the New York state line, and yeah. So they've always hunted. I always consider my friends are an interesting group of individuals. You know them. You've hung out with quite a few of them. I would consider them like yuppie rednecks. They're basically, they like finer things, but they're also, they like to do like hillbilly type stuff, So, yeah, so they like to hunt, and they've always done it their whole lives. I never did it. My dad never taught me or took me out. My grandfather's, nothing like that. So, yeah, I started hanging out with them, went up to the cabin, and yeah. So, in fact, I've been lucky the past couple of years. So I was
going to say, you haven't hunted, what, 3 or 4 years now?
3.
3 years.
Yeah.
And have you gotten a deer every year since?
First year, nothing, because I didn't. I made a rookie mistake, and snow fell on my scope. I didn't have scope covers, so the deer walked by, and when I picked it up, I couldn't see it. So, yeah. So, and then that was. Yeah, but the past couple of years have been great, and it's more about just spending time with my buddies, just hanging out. Yeah, you go up there, you might get lucky, see something, but otherwise, just about hanging out, relaxing, getting away.
Now, I'm assuming when you get that deer, you got deer the last 2 years, correct, or just one deer so far?
No, last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Yeah.
So, what do you do with that deer then?
Oh, well, get it. I get some grub made. I get some goodies made, some sticks, and just all
deer sticks.
My wife doesn't really like it, so.
What's your favorite thing to get out of the meat?
They got these. I got this guy. He makes these jalapeno cheddar sticks
That sounds
they're
delicious.
delightful.
So
yeah, they're really good.
So this hunting season, everybody can come see you for a stick.
Yeah, well, the problem is they're kind of expensive to get made. Everybody thinks that you have the meat, so it's like not that expensive. But to get it processed and get everything added, it's like to get those
It's not
sticks.
cheap.
Yeah, to get those sticks made, I think it's like $5 a pound. So,
I know. See, I love deer meat. I don't have the patience to go hunting. I cannot sit in a tree stand and wait for a deer to come across.
Well, and so that's why my friends they don't either really, even though they like to hunt. So they take 4-wheelers out. They make all kinds of noise. They have satellite dish at the cabin. They got Wi-Fi. It's not much of a cabin.
So that brings that back to where you say the yuppie ones that like to be hillbillies. They still need all that extra stuff. So
yeah.
That then what I was going with that is my favorite meat is deer jerky, but that takes so much meat to make. Anytime I have a friend or something that gets a deer and I ask them for deer jerky, most of them don't even get it made anymore.
No, I mean I got some of that made a little while back, but yeah, you're right. I mean you have to basically give up, I don't know, like half of your deer for
just for jerky.
It's a little, yeah, it's
not worth it.
No,
I mean I'd appreciate it.
I mean it's good, yeah, but right.
So what else do you like to do in your free time?
I don't know, man. I'm working. I mean, obviously work, but it takes up a lot of time.
Is your daughter in any activities yet?
Yeah. Well, we tried soccer. That was an epic fail. She basically quit. I couldn't even get her out of the car a couple times, and then, but she got into like gymnastics. It's not gymnastics. It's
not competitive or anything.
I mean, it's basically a bunch of 3-year-olds running around. Kind of like doing forward rolls and stuff, but she loves it. And then she just got into swim lessons.
Okay.
But my wife has off on Wednesday, so she takes her to swim lessons on Wednesday. So unfortunately I don't get to see that, but I get videos of it. But yeah, I mean, other than work, baseball literally just ended yesterday.
How'd your season go?
Good. We made it to the in the 10U division. We play in the Cal Ripken League, not the Little League, which is different. But we made it to the semifinal, to the state semifinal, which was big. But then, unfortunately we lost. And but we played in a tournament yesterday, or this past weekend, which we won, which was cool. Kids were very happy. It was a good way to go out. But yeah, overall, I would say successful season.
That's awesome. And all the kids had fun.
Oh my God.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So after we won, they were all running around. It was at a turf field, which is kind of neat for 10-year-olds to play at. And they were running around after we won. They slid in the home plate, and I dumped a bunch of water on them. But the problem with that is that you can't dump a bunch of water on 10-year-olds and not expect them to get you back. So I basically was running for my life for 20 minutes. I mean, it was hot, so it wasn't that. Oh my God! I mean, they might be 10. I mean, for those you might not know, I'm not the tallest guy in the world. So, and they might be 10, but some of them are just as tall as me. So, yeah. No.
So I got to go back here a second because we had a question come through. Back to the deer hunting real quick. How did you get the nickname Deer Slayer?
That was from Fred.
Fred?
I would say so. Yeah. I came into work one day, and at my desk, there was this, I guess it's a Christmas ornament, is what it is. And, but I had, I had a good day. The morning I shot a buck, and then I went out. I was only out for about an hour. And then later in the afternoon, it's like 4 o'clock, and I dove. And I got it 2 in the same day at the exact same spot. Literally laid down, like right next to it. Yeah. So
that's crazy. Usually they don't come to you like
that. No. I got lucky.
So then Fred gave you the old Deer Slayer.
Yeah, he thought he was funny. He put that in my desk. Now it was before my desk. That was when my desk was like right inside the door of Building 1, which is an interesting cubicle to have for a little bit because everybody walks in all the time and they can see everything you're doing. So, but yeah, I got questioned about that all the time.
So, like I said, we've been friends now for a lot of years, and then got you hired in here at Fireline. We would like to close with a question that we ask all of our guests. Going back to your first day of Fireline, what what's one piece of advice you would give yourself on the first day?
I would say, don't be afraid to ask questions. When I used to do new hire orientation for all the new hires that came through system service, the biggest thing that I always tell guys is that nobody gets in trouble for asking a question. And if you don't know, don't feel like you're out on an island. We have a great support staff here, I believe. So just reach out.
Awesome. So I'd like to thank Matt for coming on today and being our guest. And do you have anything else you want to add?
No, thanks for having me.
Glad you stopped in. And if you have any more questions for Matt that you'd like to learn about him or anything, feel free to stop up. Building 3, 2nd floor. Go up to the top of the steps, make a left, and walk all the way back. You might have to search for him because, like you said, he's not too tall and does not stick up above his cubicle. So with that, again, thanks again, Matt. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you again to our sponsor, System Service Department. And for our next episode, episode 4, we're going to have 2 guests on at the same time. Amanda, and then somebody that, I don't know, Matt, who's taller, you or Liz?
I am definitely taller than Liz.
You sure about that?
As a fact. Yeah, fact.
So that could be a little argument we could have there. But like I said, next episode is going to be Amanda and Liz. And we look forward to seeing everybody there. And thank you again for listening to the Fire Away Podcast. We're always ready to fire away with anything and everything.
Welcome to the Fire Away Podcast. The podcast that is the Fire Away Podcast. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's do it.